Hey guys, welcome back to another segment of web tutorials. I'm Tausif Ansari, and guys, today we'll learn about designing the CSS Waves animation. So first of all, let's see what are the requirements for creating this animation. So we'll move on towards our VS application, and as you can see, we just require the index.html file or any HTML file. It may be whatever you give it the name of. And secondly, we need the cascading style sheet. You may use the SAS. I've used the normal CSS file. You may use the SCSS file as well. So obviously the codings will vary if you use the SCSS files. So moving on to the coding section, guys, I've already set the template for the HTML file section, and I have given it a title of CSS Waves, and I have also linked it with the style.css file as well. So in the body section, guys, what we need here is to first give it a div. Okay, so we'll write dot and we'll give it a class of let's say wrapper. Okay, wrapper, right? Yeah, so the div has been created, and after that, underneath that, we need this box over here. So we'll write another div of class heading. So yep, and underneath that we need to write in h1 we want CSS Waves. CSS Waves, yeah, that's it. And below this div we want another div saying wave. Okay, so we'll again use the dot and we'll say wave. So that is it in this HTML section. Now moving on towards the CSS file. So let's open the CSS, and first of all, style your universal codes. Let's bring everything to the basic. So we'll say margin 0, padding also to 0, and the box sizing to be border box. Just save it, and let's open it in the live server. So as you can see, there's only one thing visible, that is CSS Waves. Okay, so come back to the style.css file and now style the body. So for the body, what we need is we must set its height and width first. Height 100 vh and width is equal to 100 viewing width. Oops, yeah, 100 viewing width. Secondly, the background, we want to set it as the radial background. So for that we'll use radial gradient, and underneath that we want to set some colors. So you can always, you can choose the colors whatever you want in the RGBA format or the hex code formats, whatever you want. It's all up to you. So I'm using this pinkish color and a bit of whitish color. So I'll say that BF E9FF E9FF. So it is a slightly whitish bluish color, and after that give it a comma, and for the pinkish color I'm using hash FF6E7F. so it is a bit pinkish color. Let me just make it visible for you. Yeah, that looks better. So just save it, and yeah, this is the background of our web page now. So let's go back to the CSS file and let's set the background size, though we don't need it, but it's a good thing to do so. Okay, and background repeat, no repeat, we'll set it to no repeat. Oh yeah, so this is it in the body section. we'll move on towards the headline now. So we'll say dot headline, and in that, first of all, we want to make it visible to the top of the web page. So we'll say z index to be 1000 and position to be absolute. And what we want here is, guys, that we want it to be set into the let's say into the middle of the web page, middle of the wrapper actually. So we'll say position absolute, top top let's say top 40%. Okay, that would do, I guess. And we'll say left 50%. Secondly, for centering it, we'll use the transform attribute, and we'll then translate it to -50 and of x-axis and -50 of y-axis. So this is it. Now let's move on towards the styling of the headline h1. So we'll say headline and then we'll say h1. Okay, so what we've got in h1 is, first of all, the color to be white. So for that, we'll leave it for now. Okay, and we want a border of it. So border 3 pixel, solid, and color of white. Yeah. So secondly, I want to give some padding. So padding, let's say 40 pixel, and let's say 80 pixel. It's up to you, whatever the size you want to give it, or whatever the padding you want to give it, it's all up to you. And the font size, let's say 48 pixels. Okay, and the font family, we are using the import attribute of Montserrat font, so we'll use the same. So for font family, we'll use Montserrat, and we'll say sans serif. Yeah, so this is it in the headline h1. And now if you see, yeah, just save it and let me check it. Okay, I said it heading right. Yeah, just save it now, and as you can see, it has come into the center of the wrapper actually. So yep, coming back to the CSS file, now let's style our wrapper. So we'll say dot wrapper, and in the wrapper section, what we have got here is width of let's say 500 pixel, and a height of also 500 pixel. Let's make it square. Okay, and we want to set its position to be absolute. So because we want this wrapper also to be set into the middle of the web page, so for that we'll use left again for 50%, and top also to be 50%. Okay, and then we'll translate the x and y axes to -50% and -50%. So let's do that, -50% and -50%. Yep, so that's it. And we want to give a border radius for the wrapper. So we'll say let's say 5%. That would be enough. And the background of it should be white. Okay, so background should be white. So let's save it, and yep, this is it. And lastly, I want no, let it be this much only. Now let's style our waves. Okay, so we have styled our wrapper, we have styled our h1, we have styled our heading. Now it's time for the wave part. Okay, so the class we have given it wave, and underneath that we need the width of 100 let's say 1000 pixels, okay, and height of 1025 pixels, okay. And after that we want it to set its position to be absolute, and top, let's say minus 25%. And secondly, what we want is left to be 50%, so that it stays in the middle of the screen but from the left, okay. So and secondly, I want to set its margin to be minus 500 pixel. Let's first see how it looks, okay. Actually it won't you won't be able to see it right now because there's nothing visible. So first design it and then we'll see what actually it looks like, okay. So for that we'll set the margin top and we'll say minus 500 pixels again. And after that we need a border radius of, let's say 35 to 45%, let's say 45%, so that it's because it's wide, very wide, it's of 1000 pixels, so a border of 45% is really required for it. And I want to set its background to blue color, dark blue color. And after that I want to set its z index to 1, let's say 999. Yeah, that would be in the family of the z index of the headline, okay. So next thing we want in our wave is to set its opacity. I want to set its opacity to 1, and because I set this opacity to 1 because the waves that are coming after this will have some different kind of opacity, and it would be convenient for you if you want to change the opacity or the z index, if you want to change the color effectiveness. So it's all up to you, and that is why I'm giving this opacity section over here. And after that I want to give it an animation so that it rotates. So the animation name would be let's say wave only, and the duration will be let's say 15 seconds, and I want it to set to never ending, and I want it to set it to linear method, okay. So let's save it, and now if you see we have given the 45% radius, and that is why this whole like it should have been a square if you wouldn't have been giving the border radius, but due to the given border radius, the 45% border radius, it looks like a semicircle. And because we have given the height of 100 viewing height, that is why we are not able to go upwards and see the actual size of this image, of this box. Actually if you remove the height, then this there will be a scroll bar over here, and you can go upwards and see the actual real size of the div over here, okay. So we don't actually need that, and what we need here is to set the before and after of the waves, okay. So we'll just copy this section, we'll paste it over here, okay, and we'll set it to wave dot before, okay. And to make it into existence, to bring it into existence, actually we'll set the content and we'll leave it empty, okay. So that's that would be enough. And secondly, I want its width and height to be 100% in respect to the wave actual div, okay. So we'll set its height width to be 100% and its height also to be 100%, okay. And we don't want any top and left because it's actually in the center for now, so we'll say 0. And we don't want any margin as well because it will only distract our before section. What we can do is we can add or subtract the border radius. So in the before section I'm reducing it, and After that, let's change the color as well. So let's say a different bluish color, 249.8 dB. Okay, and the z index for it will be 997. Okay, yeah. And opacity, as I told you, we'll be lowering some opacity section. So for that, let's say 0.8 or 0.6, you can say. And we'll change the animation also. So let's say wave 2. Okay, and the duration also needs to be changed so that it actually appears as the wave. Okay, so let's say 25 seconds, and we'll do the same with the wave after. Just copy this and paste it. Just change it to after. Okay, and border radius, it's all up to you. You can change it to whatever you want. And also the color. Okay, let's say 217. Okay, 210. Okay, and the opacity will be 0.4 over here. Okay, so and the animation name. So that is it. What we have got to do now is to animate these animation now. So for that, what we need is the keyframes attribute. So let's let's animate our section now, but let's first see what actually we have designed. So for that, let's go back, and this is what we've actually designed. And one more thing I want to add here is that this we don't want this much to be visible. So what we can do here is in the wrapper section we can write overflow hidden. So whatever that's out of this box over here will be like it would be removed from this whole web page area. It would be there, but it won't be showing it to you. Okay, so what we can do here is go back to the wrapper section and just write overflow and say hidden. So now if you see, it's all gone, and these actually look like some waves over here. So let's animate our thing now. So for that, let's say keyframes, and the first animation dot wave. Actually, we don't need to give this because it's not a div, it's the name of the animation. So from transform, okay, and we'll rotate it from 0 degrees, okay, and we'll rotate it to we'll rotate it to transform, rotate 180 degree. Okay, so if you see now, it has started to rotate and it's actually looking very nice. And we have to do the same with all these waves, all these wave before and after section we have got. So let's style that. Just copy this and paste it once and once more. Yeah, just change the name, wave 2 and wave 3. One more thing, guys, that it's all up to you actually, that whatever degrees you want to set, you can play with the degrees here. It would make the animation more attractive, more it would really you can do some magical things with the degrees over here. Okay, so let's say we will rotate it from 180 degrees to 360 degrees. Okay, 180 degree, and here we want the 360 degree. Okay, and lastly from 0 degrees to 270 degrees. just save this, and wow, as you can see, the waves are actually working, and they're working pretty fine. So one last thing we have got to do here is to change the color of the h1. So we'll just go back and change it. Actually, we left the portion over there, so yeah, here it is. Just change it to white. So now if you see, all things are set and it's actually working pretty fine. So this is it in this section, guys. I hope you liked the video, and guys, please stay connected with me so that I keep bringing you contents like this. And yeah, I guess this is it. Thank you for watching.